I will be talking about the top 10 richest Americans and the top 10 richest non-Americans. Statistics is important because it can be used for many workplace jobs and also to analyze DNA and genes related to cancer. On the right, I have the wealthiest non-Americans and their money, and on the left, I have the wealthiest Americans and their money. Here's a summary of the richest people. As you can see in the data set for the richest Americans, it is significantly higher than the data set of the richest non-Americans. Dot plots are used when you want to see each point. A skew is the side with the most dots on the graph. The center is the median of the graph, and outliers are numbers that are very far away from the cluster of data. Here are my two dot plots. The range of the richest Americans is about $20 billion more than the range of the richest non-Americans. The spread of the richest non-Americans is about 2 times less than the spread of the richest Americans. Also, the center of the data set for the richest Americans is about $30 billion more. Both of the dot plots are pretty evenly distributed across the graph, and dot plot 2 has an outlier at 69. 5 numbers of a box plot that you need to know are the minimum value, maximum value, quartile 1, median, and quartile 3. The IQR is the number you get when you subtract quartile 1 from quartile 3. ER words used to describe box plots are higher, wider, lower, narrower, more varied, and less varied. Here are my two box plots. The interquartile ranges aren't that dramatically far apart, but still apart. This is because quartile 1 and quartile 3 in box plot 1 is more spread out than quartile 1 and quartile 2 in box plot 2. The first whiskers are similar, but the second whiskers are much different. As you can see, the second whisker of box plot 1 is much smaller than the second whisker of box plot 2. This is because quartile 3 is closer to the maximum in box plot 1 and quartile 3 is farther from the maximum in box plot 2. One thing I found surprising in box plot 1 is that the median is so far from quartile 3. The math of the richest Americans is $19.15 billion, which means that each American is either richer or not richer than $19.15 billion. The math for the richest non-Americans is $10.26 billion, which shows that each non-American is richer than or not richer than $10.26 billion. I learned that America has much more money than people outside America. One thing to prove this is that the richest non-American has $69 billion, but the fifth richest American, Mark Zuckerberg, has $73 billion. I also learned the tools of statistics. When you want to see each point, use a dot plot. When you want to see important points but not all, use a box plot.